the Jake Giffin Podcast.
We have Kurt. How do you pronounce your last name, Kurt?
Euler.
Kurt Euler. If you're leading any kind of company that's growing fast, breaking internally, you have cultural issues, quietly drifting off mission. This is the guy I wanted to introduce you to because he's got, without hesitation, he has scaled teams across 100 countries. He's exited multi-billion-dollar exits. The guy is an absolute stud when it comes to scaling and leadership, and we're fortunate to have him with us today. Kurt, thanks so much for being on the Jake Giffin Podcast, sir.
Hey, thank you for having me.
It's a new year. We have a lot of new things going on, a lot of new gadgets, a lot of new missions. Everybody's set right now. They are set on what are we going to do this year to dominate, to expand our growth, do all that stuff. Tell us a little bit about what you've done in the past, just a few minutes, and then we'll give these guys some tools on how to tackle 2026.
Yeah, I started life as a early entrepreneur. Like when I was 14, I had to form 2 LLCs because I had enough going on business wise, and I got a job with the government because I was really good at hacking things that I shouldn't have been hacking. And so that's a long story into itself. But I was always a hard driver. But I went to school, did the dropout thing because that's what you do when you're a high performer and you don't like things going slow. Found my way into finishing out a master's, but I joined this little company called Navtech, which 85 million a year in revenue. The CEO, that new CEO for me, when I took over or when I came in, had been the CFO of Disney as a whole and the president of all of Disney theme parks. This was supposed to be his retirement gig, and quickly he went, no, there's a lot of money to be made here. So we grew that company to 1.44 billion in revenue in 10 years. We went through an $880 million IPO. We sold the company for 8.1 billion. But this is like MapQuest back in the day, or Garmin devices, every car navigation system. Back on my shelf, Microsoft Flight Simulator. I was at the hub of 11 industries. So we did immaculately well. And anybody that's knew me at that point knew I was only an authoritative hard driver. And a lot happened in my life, and I rebuilt how I approach leadership and how we basically have this lottery that ended up doing well. Since then, to your point, I've been part of growing companies across 100 countries. Been part of more than, at this point, probably 80 exits and funding things, major investment rounds from companies, and spend a lot of my time now both running companies. I'm a full-time operator. That's the only thing I like really doing. And then talking about servant leadership to people that would like to hear about a different way to do things.
Now, when you first started doing this, because it was obviously, I mean, you don't look that, what are you, 50? You're not 50 yet.
I'm 49.
See, haha, I'm pretty good at this. I should work at a circus. So you're not 50, but you got in, it seems like, I was looking at your background, and it seems as though you've kind of fit into this. If there's a gold seam in a mine somewhere, you kind of fell into, your talent and expertise fell into this gold seam of, let's say, the rise of the internet, websites, technology. You kind of rode that in to some extent. Like you had a lot of success in most part, 90% of it's your skill and talent, obviously. But what did timing have anything to do with that?
Yeah, I mean, skill and success matter. A lot of it, though, was being at the right time. I mean, this company had been around for 20 plus years at that point. And Philips Electronics had dumped almost $800 million into it, like from a debt perspective, just trying to do this. So, and I mean, $85 million a year in revenue is a lot of revenue, but not compared to where we took it. We were just at the right place for where technology was growing across all of these industries, mobile devices. Like when I put together the forecast for going public, I mean, I came up with how big we thought the market was going to be for phones because there was nothing out there that was rational that the investment bankers would look at. And so, there was a lot of work, but I mean, we could write a book about how many billions of dollars we lost. We were at the right time, and there was 2 big companies, us and our competitor. So that was a huge bit of that success. And since then, like I couldn't have paid for it. That 10 years was almost like being in a management consulting firm, but not having to deal with the arrogance of a Bain Capital or something. Instead, I was like a startup firm.
when you first started, when you first got into leadership, did that look like? Are you familiar with the show The Office?
I am.
Are you? Is it? I feel like everybody who's not in leadership, let's say the employees at any given company at any given time, they have this idea how things should be run, how they should operate, what they should be doing, right? And you get some, every once in a while, you get a guy that comes in. He's been in for 2 days and he goes, "Hey, have you ever thought about doing it this way? Or have you ever thought about doing it that way?" And then, the Michael character, I think his name is Michael in The Office, has that beginner leader. I want to be everybody's friend. I kind of want to fit in. That very awkward management, kind of middle management style. Did you go through that phase, or did you get to skip it?
No, that was not me at all. I was the arrogant prick.
Okay.
I was the guy that did think I knew a lot better than anyone else. So that like we had part of our organization, which was that old school, like they try to be nice, but we knew the future was going to be the innovation, the non-automobile side of the business. And so I was able to play a lot in that, but I was the person who did not understand that office politics. Like there's so much politics that makes it funny not there. I had no concept that said, yeah, you might be the smartest person in the room. You might actually have the right answer. But at the end of the day, it is about relationships. And so I did stupid things like I made my boss look so bad in a boardroom, trying to make myself look good. We did disagree, but I didn't handle it well. After the meeting, she told me, "Yeah, they will never fire you because because of what the board thinks about you, but you will never have a title promotion here whatsoever." So like that could have been an episode from The Office. Like here's this 24-year-old kid who was screwed up that bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's probably the other route that people go when they first get into leadership or management or whatever, is that, and maybe it's not exactly apples to apples in your case, but the other route people go is, now I have a title, so you have to listen to me. So I get to boss you around, tell you what to do. And then the arrogant prick part of you that you mentioned is like, was that like stemming from some kind of like she said that you'll never get fired, right? So that kind of, that gives credit to how indispensable you were.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what gave you the right to call this dude out in a board meeting?
I was right to call out that I had a different opinion, but I not only called out as a different opinion, I belittled the other side of it, where my boss, the side that she had, to the point of saying like no intelligent person should have that viewpoint, and then dumped so much of what I saw of the world. And I did present like the data side of it so much better that it made it look like she was incompetent, and she was not. She was like, I was partially really successful there for the next 8.5 years, because almost any topic, if we came to the topic we would come from two different sides of the table, and we would basically just kind of like fight about it in a healthy way after there. But she always approached things different than me, which meant that, and vice versa. So we vetted each other, that iron sharpens iron thing, where our end result was always better, because if we could convince the other person about the direction, then by far, like, we'd win against anybody else. But but it did kind of point out, I mean, I was actually right in that moment. Things over the next 5 years of the company did prove that, but not the way that I handled it. And because of that, we always did have this difficulty between us for that as well.